Microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? It's the 5'7" assassin in the podcast business. I am your host, Rohan Patra, the rap music plug at your service.
Here we are again at the end of our rainbow.
The ability to be authentically yourself is a superpower. It makes people feel more comfortable around you and gravitate towards you because there is a certain solidness or realness about you that people can latch onto. This is a concept that 100% applies in music as well, and in particular rap, which is a type of music that is heavily based on the listener caring about the artist's personality and character, not just their technical skill. It's a very first-person persona-built genre. Although it certainly is nice when both the skill and the authenticity can match up, which is precisely the case we get with Portland rapper Milc. Milc is one of the most talented and genuinely funny rappers out right now, who is making an increasingly large mark on the game, who is joining the show today to talk about how he injects personality into his music and the makings of his two recent records from 2023, Horseradish and The Fish That Saved Portland. The Rap Music Plug podcast presented by QLC TV is the remedy to the I don't have anything good to listen to problem. Through in-depth artist interviews, album reviews, and general rap commentary on the best that the underground rap scene has to offer, this is your one-stop shop to knowing what to add to your queue, play next, or pop into your record player. Welcome to the show. How you doing today, Milc?
I'm doing good. A little hungover, but got my coffee, got my Gatorade.
That's good, man. You know, we're a podcast that cares about mental health, so I'm glad you're feeling okay. And I do want to check in, though. How are you coping with the loss of Dame?
Honestly, I thought I was doing good until I saw him play the other day
Oh,
at
yeah.
Milwaukee. I had a little crazy little bit of a moment because I really thought I didn't give a fuck. And then I watched that game and it was kind of like watching your ex-girlfriend just flourish in an incredible way. But I was rooting for him too, so that's another thing. Like it was a lot of feelings, but I'm okay. I'm now past it. Seeing him in the uniform, that horrible, disgusting green Milwaukee Bucks uniform, but I'm past it now. I'm okay. I'm doing fine.
That's good. That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
He did drop 40 on his opening day, or 39, I think it
39,
actually
yeah.
was. It looked incredible, but yeah, I'm doing good.
Well, I'm excited to have you here. Been a big fan since I heard Neutral Milk Motel. And I have to say, like, once your music clicked, it really clicked for me. And I think I was maybe a little later in the game than some others. But, you know, I immediately started bumping your shit nonstop because I feel like your style reminded me of some of my other kind of like favorite rappers out there, like Eminem, Macklemore, Yellow Wolf, parts of Logic, parts of Drake. I'm kidding. But for real, I'm just excited to chop it up.
I'm too hungover for you to do that right now.
To drop the white rapper shit? You didn't even notice?
Once I heard Logic, I was like, oh, he's tripping. He's playing with me. He's fucking with me.
I mean, I have to say, I have liked some Eminem. I have not.
People try to play it back like they don't like Eminem, like they never liked. Somebody just said that the other day to me, like they never liked Eminem. I was like, bitch, you're lying. In 2001, 2002.
Yeah, after Eminem show was where the demarcation is for me, because Eminem shows there's some great shit on there.
I love, till I collapse. I mean, Eminem show's tight.
Yeah, Superman's always my favorite song on there. But you know, you've got a really dope yet simple rap name, and I'm wondering, is there like a more significant backstory to that, or is it just like a simple play on the fact that you are indeed a white rapper? I've always wondered.
Well, I've been rapping a long time. There's no it's just because it's basically just because I'm a white rapper. But like I've been rapping so long that like I probably started rapping when I was like 10 or 9 or 10 years old. So it's like back in the day, like if you were like the white boy in the hood, they would call you like Casper or Ghost or Milk or some shit like that. So it's like it's just off that bullshit. And I should have changed my name a million times, but like just everybody starts calling you it like in my neighborhood and shit like that, it's hard to. Yeah, I can't shake it. It's just with me now. I have to give up on it of changing my name ever.
It's a good name, I think, and you got the little like the alternate names like Leche, Blanco, like
Yeah,
it
yeah,
works out. It ends up being nice.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Thank you. I try to. Whoa, I forgot I have this around my neck. Uh,
is that the
yeah,
costume?
yeah. Part of the slick ick costume. Yeah, no. I'm trying to appreciate it. It's just hard when you've had a name since you were 10 years old.
Mm-hmm. And talk to me about the hip hop scene in your hometown of Portland. That Northwest scene, I'd say, is not necessarily known for its hip hop to outsiders, but there's definitely been a bubbling scene growing over there. So tell me, how did your surroundings shape your musical tastes and inspire you to actually pursue being a rapper?
For sure, yeah. I would say Portland, like in the Northwest, kind of in general, we're kind of in like a little bit of like no man's land up here, a little bit. Like we're kind of like stuck in a corner, kind of doing our own thing without anybody really until like kind of as of late, but like nobody's really paying attention or giving a fuck about it, which is tight in a way because you can get to be like I got to have a whole career as a local rapper before
Mm,
anybody knew me on the internet or knew who I like. If you come to my city, I'm like a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I got to like be on stage a bunch and put out projects that nobody gave a fuck about and shit like that. But still like get praise and shit like that, but it's just in my city, my little corner of the country and of the yeah, but it's Portland's honestly Portland and Seattle too. I'll speak for Seattle. Both just got a ton of talent, honestly. Like both cities just have a ton of people who deserve to be recognized, but I just think it's a little harder
hmm.
where we are geographically and everything.
I kind of like the fact that there's not a it is kind of no man's land to where like I don't really know what to expect a lot when I hear a rapper is from Portland or Seattle, like you said. I just kind of know it'll be something I'm not expecting.
Yeah.
Like artists like Suede, of course, like definitely frequent collaborator of yours, Televangels as well. Like I always tend to find those rappers to be quite unique.
Yeah. I think you can kind of you don't have like if you're from the Bay, somebody's expecting you to be a
Yeah.
certain way. If you're from New York, somebody might expect you to be some type of way. But yeah, we don't have any like we can just do what we're trying to do. I will say Portland is like heavily influenced by the Bay though. Like we think we're part of Oakland basically.
But I mean, like, I'm thinking, you guys are kind of like, you got that swagger of the Bay, but you got like the cold, like the weather's not the same. So you guys kind of got that grit of like more East Coast kind of leaning music too.
I I think we're finally understanding to try to sound like our city, Portland and Seattle. Like there's more music coming out of both those places that sound more like how the city looks and feels.
Uh,
For a while, Seattle was doing a bunch of Macklemore horse shit, or like trying to make like this like I don't know quasi frat rap bullshit. I don't know what they were doing up there, but anyway, I think now we're starting to understand. Like yeah, like I was saying, like try to have our own kind of spin on things.
yeah, frat rap's crazy. I like sometimes I forget that that was a thing. And
I think,
I was in high school when that shit popped off, I think. God damn. Like Mac
how old are
Miller.
you?
I'm 28.
Okay, word.
So I was like, our middle, yeah, like late middle school, early high school. Yeah. That's when
Like
Mac
I
Miller
could
Wiz
have been
Khalifa
a
blew
frat
up.
rapper. I was one bad mistake away from being a frat rapper, pretty much. I never went to college, so that probably
That probably helped you. That probably like
yeah.
honestly not going to college probably helped your career big time. It helped you in a lot of other ways, probably.
Yeah, well, who knows? Yeah, but yeah, no, yeah, yeah. Frat rap was interesting. What an interesting time.
Hmm. And every time a single time I've heard you on record, one thing that I've always loved is that you just really effortlessly like exude cool. Like you just seem like you're having fun, you're comfortable in your own skin. And I wonder, is that something that you've kind of always felt, growing up, or was this something that you really needed to develop over time?
I would say uh I just figured out how to like this is by the way not me calling myself cool, but I would say I just like figured out recently kind of how to like put more of my personality into the music. And I think that's when it started like clicking for me a little bit. Before I was kind of trying to do I was in a group when I was younger and then I stopped rapping for like a few years. I'm older than I think people realize a lot of the time. But no, that's something that's like recent was me like being able to implement like my personality more into my music, like and just talk shit like how I talk shit with my homies and shit like that, and then putting that onto record. And I think that's been a big thing for me, is like figuring out how to put my personality more into the music that I make.
Yeah, that's huge, and it's not easy, right? Like, because yeah, when I listen to your music, it's like you're talking shit, but you're still doing it with like a lyrical flair and like a flow, like rapper shit. But it's got that authenticity that I could have just heard you just roasting someone at a party or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's a yeah, I think all that takes a while, right? Like trying to find your voice or whatever in music, because I think we spend a lot of our time trying to like emulate people or keep up with trends or whatever bullshit like that. But like, yeah, I think once I got old enough, that's just been easier and easier for me to do.
Yeah, and I feel like I think that kind of comfortability in who you are is really good, especially because like I find with a lot of, I guess I'll call it like there's like something that I've noticed called like the white rapper syndrome, where like white rappers tend to overindulge in like one of two things. They either try to indulge in the fact that they're really hard and street, or they rap, and the part that's maybe even worse is like they overindulge in the fact that they don't fit in and that they're like smarter and they just, I'm sorry I don't sell drugs. That shit is low key so racist and strange and whack. And Macklemore did some of that, like not as bad, but he kind of like did that, like I'm too good for this shit. And
Oh yeah,
I just, I don't
he
feel like you,
100% did that.
yeah, like you don't fall victim to any of that. You're just very comfortable in being you, and I love that. And like, I mean, you call yourself Yakubian on the new album. Like, that's crazy. That is a crazy statement.
Yeah, I got a lot of messages about that line. Uh, yeah, I mean, again, I think that just comes with me being a little older now. Also, sometimes people want me to like show a little bit more of like, who I am outside and like what I do. But see, that's just not like I can't that's not fun to me though. Like rap to me, like rap just I have to have fun while I do this shit. I have to be having a good time. And all yeah, they're like the white rappers that want to be like what I'm doing is elevated. Like I never want to have fans that aren't hip hop heads. I want people that love rap
Yeah.
shit to love me. Like I don't really want and I don't care like how nerdy or insane you get with it. Like that's who I want to be my fan. I don't really want to not have hip hop heads be fans of me. Like I'm not concerned like I'm speaking the language of rap. Like I'm having a conversation with my famous rappers like every time I rap. Like so if it would be an impossibility for me to be like, yo, I'm on some other shit. I'm on some Hamilton bullshit or whatever. Like
You're not trying to be Milk Manuel Miranda here.
no, like dog, what I'm doing. And I think like even in this kind of scene that we're all kind of participating in, I don't know how to call it, what to call it or what it is exactly yet, but I think I'm the most basic fucking tooth and nail rapper out of most people. Like I'm not really doing anything different. Like I'm like just a straight through and through rapping ass rapper. Like, and that makes me feel good knowing that, honestly.
Honestly, like the you say that that's actually is kind of unique though, because at least in this space, whatever, again, I don't know how to call it really either, but most people are doing something different. Like either it's something really experimental with the sound, maybe it's like a weird rap delivery, or it's like maybe the content is like fucking really out there and like abstract and shit, which I love all that, to be clear. I'm a
Of
huge fan of
course,
that.
it's
But there
dope.
also aren't like there's either people when the more traditional rappers is usually people who are like the more straightforward boom bap and I don't know. They're part of a particular style of rap that I think has been done like a million times where you're kind of like I don't know, it's different because you have the humor to it, you have the personality to it. It's just very like singular, I feel. Even though it is to your point, it's not like you're doing anything that hasn't been done, but that's not really what you're trying to do either.
No, I mean, I just want to be like as corny as it sounds. Like I just want to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Like I got into this to be nice, and like people to be like, "Yo, he's dope." Like he gets busy. So that's always something that like I bring with me to the music and to everything that I do. Like I really just wanted to be good at this shit. Like no matter that's like my bottom line. Really, it's like I think I'm pretty good. Like damn, I killed that verse. Like that felt good. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think I am a little more you know traditional in that sense. It's like and I'll but yeah, thank you for telling me that I'm still doing my own thing a little bit.
Yeah, you are. Yes, on the note of like being self-aware in a way, I think it allows you to, be funny, be self-deprecating. But what I like is that you definitely don't go past that like certain point to where you come off as like a rapper who's like a joke rapper, who's like, oh, it's
Oh yeah,
funny
yeah.
because they're like a fool. Where no, like you balance this with like some perspective on real life things and just really obvious sharp lyricism. So, is there a rapper that served as a bit of a blueprint for you, or as like a big main influence for your style of rap that you aspire to kind of do?
I would say like Sean Price was like a really
That's the
big
one.
influence on me. I kind of like changed how I thought about rap when I heard him. I heard Open Mike Eagle say this once about Sean Price, like right after he died, that like Sean Price is like a fearless writer. Like he'll say anything bad about himself that's happening, anything bad about like his record label or management you know what I mean? Like he's fearless. Like he's not afraid to say the worst thing about him at that time that's happening. You know what I mean? And yeah, like that he was and also on top of that he's an incredible rapper. Like just like as far as that, so he's like a heavy influence. But there's a ton of other people. Everybody, anybody else would be like everybody would say who else I would say like
Well, Sean Price is interesting because like I mean, I've always been a big fan of his, but I think since starting this podcast a couple of years ago now, like I've been surprised maybe how much people in this space really love Sean Price and see him as like a really big important influence in their kind of development as an artist. I would say it's disproportionate to I think the love he gets outside of like hip hop head circles, which is
yeah,
interesting. I don't know because like obviously you got the people outside of that they're like oh Jay-Z or big artists obviously, but Sean Price like everybody loves this guy and I think it's all for the reasons that authenticity, that fearlessness, and I just find that really interesting.
yeah. I think it's well, like a lot of people or around our age, like Sean Price had that second win, right? Like in like 2005, 2006. I think a lot of us were getting more into like underground rap maybe at that time
Hmm.
in our lives. And he was kind of like one of the like main forefront of people to like get underground rap going again a little bit and
Yeah,
make
that's so true. He was like he was one of the like not pioneers. He was just one of the at the forefront of like the antithesis of the mainstream at that point. Like to the point where he makes a track called Fake Neptune Song, right? Like
yeah, I
that
love that shit.
yeah,
That's yeah, even that right there, that shit cracks me up. But yeah, and a lot of people, they rightfully so give like Rock Marciano and people like that their props, but Rock Marciano got popping because of a remix that Sean Price did over Snow. Not popping, but like like Sean
big
Price
help.
definitely stamped Rock Marciano like early in the thing, and I think yeah, he like this new resurgence or renaissance or whatever that's happening. Like he plays a huge part of it, I think, as well as like Doom and Rock Marciano and
Hmm.
everybody. But I think Sean Price is definitely a huge part of what everything we're doing.
I also think I hear like some Wayne in you, just in terms of like how out there you'll get with the funny shit, but also again being like a really good lyricist. That's what always like
Yeah,
Wayne really pushed the envelope, sometimes too far for sure. Like a lot of times too far, but he had a great, he had like he was a prolific with the funny shit. There was a huge amount of corn, but then a huge amount of like, damn, that's awesome.
I
Yeah.
still feel that way about him. Like I still like to this day, like I'll hear a Wayne verse, I'm like, wow, that was crazy. And then you hear a bunch of bullshit, but then you hear another verse, it's like, oh man, wow, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't think about uh Wayne in that way with me, but he was definitely like the biggest rapper the whole time I was in high school. Lil Wayne was
Hmm.
the biggest rapper on earth. So I think, yeah, like I can see that too.
And something I key on in with you and put a decent amount of weight behind is that um is what other artists say about a given peer of theirs. And with you, I feel so often people go out of the way to big you up. Like I remember we did the RMPP listening party for the new Arm& Hammer, and Curly Castro joined us. And I don't know why your name came up or something. And
Yeah.
he just was like, "Oh man, he's so dope. He's so funny. He's a great guy, great rapper." And I feel like I just hear that often. People like really have great things to say about you, other rappers. So, like, how welcomed have you felt within this current scene of music and rap?
Oh man, I think I had like the easiest introduction. Everybody's like very however I think it was mostly swayed in Televangel, but like getting in this world and this scene with those two, like yeah, man, I've got shown nothing but love, and it's been fucking dope. Like I was just thinking the other day, like with Castro and like Zilla Rocca and people like that just like talk about me in front of like bigger artists and shit like that, and like bring my name up and shit. I feel very welcome. Yeah, I feel very welcome, and it's just I'm lucky. Like you want that respect from your peers, and I'm glad to like have that.
Yeah, and one of the albums you dropped this year I want to get into before we talk about your latest
Yeah.
is Horseradish, fully produced by Golden Beats. I think this album needs more years because immediately when I first heard it, it just kind of smacks you in the face. There's so much like energy, momentum. It has, by the way, an incredible album cover. Like,
Hell yeah! Shout out to my
just
boy Flick.
yeah, the sound is just so bold and I think puts you in a different chamber than what Televangel has put you on. So, like first let's start with like the instrumentals. Like what drew you to the sound that Golden Beats was making for that album?
I think like first and foremost, I'm the type of dude where I can't really have you like send me a pack of beats that I make a project with you. I have to know you. I have to see
Mm.
you. I wanna, if possible, I want us in the same studio while I'm recording it. And Golden is just dope. Like he just has a ton of dope beats. We've been like, this is like that project had been in the works without us actually working on it for like 2 years. He moved to Portland. I got to know him better. And then yeah, like he's definitely has like a his own unique style and shit like that. And he got me to maybe rap on some shit I wouldn't have normally rapped on, but yeah, I just his beats are just dope. That's what drives me to him. I mean, they're just fire. Like it's fun to record with him. He's just a he's yeah. He had a little setup in his little fucking very minimal setup in his at his studio apartment at the time, and we just recorded the whole thing probably in a week or something like that.
Yeah, there's a really great like sense of momentum to that album. And man, some of these beats and like even the features that you got here were huge. And I feel like everybody just brought such a great energy. Like that Big Kahuna feature, the Ugly
Oh yeah, that was
Franklin, insane.
Frank. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, yeah, he kind of did all that. Like he kind of picked the features, reached out to people. That was like all him mostly. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun making that album. Like there's this song and the last song MTV. It's like one of my favorite joints I've ever done. It's just and I don't think I would have made that without Gold there being like, no, come on, you know what I mean? Like kind of egging me on to like do my bullshit. So yeah, shout out to Golden, man. He's super dope. He's got a ton of dope shit coming in 2024 that I
Hmm.
think will surprise people.
Yeah, and Rich Jones was the perfect kind of like cherry on top to that track.
Oh, fucking Rich Jones,
Hmm.
another great guy. I let Rich actually will pop up on you. That's what's dope about Rich. He'll actually come to your city and bother you and tell you to go to get food with you and make you eat mushrooms. Shout out to Rich, bro.
That sounds like a great sounds like a great day. Man, that guy
Yeah.
knows his food too. That guy knows his food.
Oh my God. I don't know how he doesn't have diabetes, but yes, he does love his food.
Oh man. Okay, let's get into the fish that saved Portland. So, a few days before the album dropped officially, you gave yeah, you distributed this like published this love letter to Portland that was posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it really showed that this album seemed centered significantly around, your story around living in Portland, the good, the bad, and why you ultimately love the town so much. So why was it important to shine such a strong light on your hometown with this new record?
I think I heard one podcast talk about me once, and they said he's from Portland, but it's not that big of a deal or whatever. And it wasn't just that podcast, but it's like, nah, man, like I am, like almost every, I'm so referential to Portland, and a lot of to my detriment, maybe, like I'm such a localized human being that, like, I always, I'm just talking about what's in front of me and what's going on around me, and that's happens to always be Portland because that's where I'm born and raised and never left, really. And I think this album, entering this scene and this new world I'm in, like I just wanted it to be known, like I'm Portland, like through and through. Like I'm a Northeast. I'm really not much other than a shit talking white boy from Northeast Portland. Like that's really what I am and who I am. So it's like I'll always, wave the flag for Portland. It's just who I am and what I am. And I think like I'm not no internet person. Like I'm not an internet rapper. I didn't come up on the internet. I came up outside of my city. My city loves me. Like people in my city, like like that's a big deal to me. Like I like that I'm not just like you can come to my city and they're gonna know me. Like if you walked around with me in Portland, fools would you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to brag, but it just means a lot to me. Like that Portland just it means a lot to me.
Yeah, what do you think people get wrong or maybe don't know about Portland that they should?
Man, you know, Portland kind of has, weird stigmas to it, like politically or like the Portlandia bullshit. I don't know if you're familiar with the
I
television stuff.
I actually, funny enough, the reason I know about that isn't because of like firsthand watching that, was because are you familiar with Tim Heidecker?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Are you familiar with Bill Maher?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you see the Tim Heidecker spoof of Bill Maher's podcast?
No, but that
Oh
sounds
my
hilarious.
God.
I
It's
gotta.
like if you ever saw the Rogan one he did, that was like a like an hour long thing.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like that. He does like a
I have
30
seen the
minute
Rogan one.
and he
Yeah.
has the guy from Portlandia, like the real actor, in, and he
Oh,
does
okay.
like a whole spoof for 40 minutes. It is phenomenal. And they talk about Portlandia, and the whole time he's like, yeah, Portlandia, you really stuck it to the woke mob. He's like, I don't know if that's what the show was about. Nah, come on, shut the fuck up. Come on. That's it was just it's just being so
Yeah.
antagonistic. Anyways, continue. Everybody
I
should
want
watch
to go
that.
on record of saying fuck Bill Maher and
Yeah,
free
fuck Bill Maher,
Palestine.
man.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, I think but I'm not necessarily mad when people get Portland wrong because there is a side of Portland that is like all that bullshit people talk about it. That's definitely a real thing. I just I just think like being from here and growing up here, you have a little different reality than of like transplants to move into your city. But that's like anywhere you go, New York, LA, the Bay. People that are born and raised there have a little chip on their shoulder about, people coming into their city and maybe they like have a different world, live a different world than you in your own city. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, Portland. I think Portland is so complex. It is so much is going on. I couldn't even like be mad at anybody for whatever their slice or how they think about Portland is. I just in my shit, I just describe my Portland. You know what I mean? So yeah,
But it does sound, based on like that point you made at the beginning about that podcast or those podcasts that mentioned Portland as being like kind of an irrelevant fact to listening to you or listening to hip hop period. I think that's the thing you want to change. Like, no, just like if someone's
yeah,
from New York, you kind of make assumptions, and it's part of the understanding of a New York artist or a Brooklyn artist. Like New York is like the opposite, right? Like it's not even New York, right? There's like Queensbridge, there's boroughs. Boroughs mean something. And to say
yeah,
like an entire city, he's like, whatever, he's from Portland. Who cares? Let's see what
yeah.
he, yeah.
Nah, yeah, yeah. I'm definitely a Portland. Like honestly, like fools think I'm very singular or whatever, but like that. But if you met like my homies and shit like that, they're just like me. They just don't rap. Like they dress like me, talk like me, walk like me. Everybody is like, yeah, Portland is. Yeah, I love Portland, man. That's just the truth. Like as much as I have disagreements and you're critical over what you love or whatever, but yeah, Portland is a huge part of me and what I do creatively at all times.
And so this marks the second album you've made with Televangel. Fantastic producer. One part of Blue Sky, Black Death back in the day. What makes his style of production so special to you, and like what, and I guess different than other producers you've worked with?
First of all, I was a big Blue Sky Black Death fan. Well, I was a big Nacho Picasso fan,
Nice.
on their first little run like 10 years ago at this point, I guess, over 10 years. So I always had like I think he saw me open for Arm& Hammer. But actually he didn't even like me. His wife told him to work with me. Uh
Televangel's wife or Nacho Picasso?
yeah,
Oh,
Televangel's
Televangel.
wife.
Oh shit.
He,
Nice.
she was like, you should work with him. He's funny. That was his that was her pitch. And he came up to me and said, "What's up?" after the show. What's crazy is his production, like you record and then the beat changes so drastically. It's not like I go pick the beats. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I'm rapping over a loop with no drums or just a weird couple bits of the beat. And then he morphs the beat around what I do, which I think that's a real producer. That's not a beat maker. That's like somebody that's really making music, like, and he's kind of made me I don't know. People have been sending me beats lately, and I just don't give a fuck about them. Like he's kind of fucked me up, like as far as musically goes, because he just takes what I do and then just makes it so much bigger and better and sonically so much more interesting than like rapping over like a normal like boom bap loop or just 4 bar loop or whatever. Now it just isn't like I can no longer. It no longer like interests me because he's like ruined me in that way. But anyway, Television is very dope, and his beats are always fire, and he's a master of sound.
Yeah, it reminds me of what LP's been known for doing, right? Like he's been known for taking taking whatever the rapper rapped over and then just splicing it up a million different ways to where like it's a completely different beat when it's released. That's like
Yeah,
real producer shit. Yeah.
I remember I heard that Dilla had Slum Village just rapping over a metronome
Wow.
and then building the beat around them rapping over like the BPM of the metronome. But yeah, not yeah, televangel's crazy.
And I
Well,
feel like in general, this is a very complete body of work. I like the sequencing in particular. Obviously, the rapping and production is great too. And it feels just like an overall level up from an album that I did already like a lot in Mutual Milk Motel. So, how do you feel you've grown from that project to Fish?
I think me and Ian just got closer as homies, and me and Televangel just got closer as like friends and like people. Like our girls hang out and shit like that. Like our girls know each other. Like we just so just that helps music. Like just knowing the person that you're making music with, like on a deeper level than just besides music, it always just gonna make the music better. I don't know if I've personally grown that much, like in the 11 months time. I mean, a lot has happened, but I think just like I think what you're hearing and what people are hearing is just like us figuring each other out more. Pause. Just trying to like just trying to like we're just become friends. Honestly, like we become homies, like close homies over the course of the album. Like, and if we did a behind the music of what had happened and transpired during this album, people would be like, "What the fuck?"
Why?
But
What
like,
what happened?
I mean, I don't want to get into it, but like, the police was at his door looking for me and shit like that while I had to wiggle out of Portland. But like, just like we just became real good friends over, in between that time, and I think that showed I'm able to. I think with Neutral Milk Motel, I was just trying to be like, "Oh, I'm a good rapper." Like that was like a big part of that album, I think. And with this one, I was like, I'm trying to make good music more. Like I'm trying to make some shit. I'm not trying to prove that I can rap,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah,
And
I know, I can hear that.
I think that makes the music better.
And another thing I loved about the record were the features, man. Oh my God. Yeah, you got Nacho Picasso, as you mentioned. And I think particularly that you got Suede, Nacho and Old Grape God in particular really murked their placements. Like, God damn, they really gave you some like A1 level material.
Yeah, I really hope. I mean, yeah, Grave God's like a close homie of mine. He's very dope. I hope people start getting more in tune with what he's got going on. Yeah, he killed it. That was he had a hilarious. His verse is amazing.
It's like, yeah, and then Nacho has that like line about the red table, you need healing. Like,
And I like his Vin Diesel little.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
How they
it was
both
good.
killed it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it must be really it must feel really good to be able to kind of get such established names and such talented names to kind of contribute to your work like that. Going back to that peer and respect point.
yeah, I think I'm lucky in that way. Like fools are willing to work with me just off the strength that they think I'm pretty good at what I do. And Ian, Televangel kind of has his own little universe, right? With me, Slade, Nacho, so not sleep. Like he kind of is like building his own little world, and I kind of want to continue to do music with those people because they understand it all, and like I want to be like we're like the Marvel universe of
Hmm.
television or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I need Sway to come make a cameo, and you know what I mean? Like every time I do something with Televangel.
Yeah, it's the Televangel cinematic universe. I love that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so what before we wrap up, like, are there any upcoming projects or merch or tour dates that you want to shout out that we should be aware of?
Yeah. Well, I guess by the time this comes out, the pre-order for the vinyl that we're doing with Zilla Rock, a
Oh
$3
shit.
pistol. So the fish will be on vinyl, and I think we'll actually have some merch as well, like some sweatshirts, hoodies.
Sick.
Excuse me, hoodies. And we got a little secret EP that's kind of like it's not a secret, but it's like we have six more joints that were kind of left off the album, but not because they weren't dope. It's just like it was kind of recorded like right after the album, and we couldn't put them on the fish. But
Mm-hmm.
I think we're calling that the Last Fish EP, and that'll be out on what's that? Bandcamp Friday, November, the first Friday of November
Nice.
to grab, and it'll come out on streaming probably like a month or two later. What else? I got yeah, I mean, I got a show in Portland, but I don't know. Fuck it, November 18th.
Yeah, it'll be out. It'll be out before then. Yeah.
November 16th, excuse me, Wonder Ballroom. If you're in Portland, the 12 people that listen to this podcast from Portland, come out.
I
Yeah,
hope there's
November
more than 12
16th.
by now. But yeah.
Yeah, Wonder Ballroom.
Dope. And then outside of the EP, is there anything else to expect maybe next year?
Yeah, I got a project with this dude named Andy Savoy, who's a producer who I did a joint with called Windbreaker.
Mm.
We got a new project out, or we got a new project coming. First single with or not AJ Swing. First single with Fly Anakin
Ooh,
coming at the top, probably coming at the top of the year.
that's hype.
Yeah.
That's hype. You and Fly Anakin. That's a good
Man, I
combination
should
of
send you. I
rappers.
should send you that joint.
Oh,
Actually,
you should. You should. Yeah.
he
Man, that's
killed it.
exciting. That's exciting. I'm happy that it's going on vinyl. I know people are gonna be hyped for that.
Yeah, the fish will be on vinyl. Yeah, thank God. We've had many vinyl troubles.
Yeah.
I needed. I needed Zilla Rocca. That's my rap older brother.
He's really good at taking care of all those things, like his
Yeah,
marketing mind, he's good at that
which
stuff.
I am not. I am not good at taking care of these things. But yes, he is. That's why I need him.
Hmm. Well, I'm just saying, very happy to have you on today, and just really excited to see more people kind of get in tune. You're such a dope rapper. I just like the attitude and just how you approach your craft. So appreciate you coming
Thank
on,
you,
man.
man. And I'm stoked to be on a podcast I actually listen to.
That's dope. I'm happy to hear that. Take care, man.
You
Peace.
too. Peace.
So there we have it, another episode of the Rap Music Plug podcast presented by QLC TV. I hope this episode gave you some new perspectives and insights into what the greatest art form known to man in hip-hop music has to offer. If you want to support the show in the most meaningful way possible, it would be my absolute honor to have you as a patron in the new Rap Music Plug podcast Patreon. Through this Patreon, you will be getting exclusive content such as bonus episodes, exclusive album recommendations, exclusive playlists, early access to episodes, and more. And above all, though, you will be able to support the show directly in a way that will not only justify the crazy amount of time I spend on this show already, but allow me to cover some of the expenses related to supporting all of these great artists that we cover on the show through the website, and will allow us to sustain and build on this amazing growth that the RMPP has experienced recently. So if you have any questions about any of the Patreon stuff, or just want to keep tabs on the show, interact with me on rap music and all the great stuff that we can talk about, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at rapmusicplugpod, or shoot me an email at qlctv.podcast@gmail.com. You can also rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify as well. But that's enough self-promotion for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.